welcome Deepanjali and Raisi. I'm Professor Nidumolu. I teach organizational behavior at the Indian School of Business. And in this video broadcast, I'm interested in talking to Deepanjali and Raisi, who are with a group called the Voice of Sarjapur in Bangalore. And they've been doing some very interesting things, some wonderful things in terms of helping people who might be affected because of the coronavirus crisis. Welcome, Deepanjali. Welcome, Raisi. And
Thank you.
Right. Let me just begin by asking you, what is this group about, the Voice of Sarjapur? What do you try to do in this group?
Yeah, Voice of Sarjapur started from a need to take care of our immediate environment here in Sarjapura. Once we shifted here, we basically are not from this place. We have come from the city, Bangalore city. Sarjapura is the suburb of Bangalore city. So me and Raisi both have bought property as a house here, and we started living here. And then when we explored the nearby villages and stuff, we realized that there are a lot of lakes, and there is a lot of open area, there is a lot of trees, there is a lot of nature that's in the verge of dwindling away because of the city getting into these areas. So our exploration, our very casual exploration, led to this fact that there is a lot that can be done by the intervention of us as residents, local residents.
So I'm just going to ask you, Sarjapur, the one that came in the news with those lakes that had all the froth on them and so on? Is that
that is still part of Bangalore city. Belandur falls on the road that goes to Sarjapura. So you must be having it in your city also. There's one road which is called by the name of its destination.
Right.
Like Hosur Road, we have a Hosur Road that starts from the heart of the city, and we have a Sarjapura Road that starts from Belandur. So Belandur
so those
is
lakes have been, those lakes are getting affected by pollution, or they already have been? The lakes
our lakes in Sarjapura, because the city is just entering our place, it's not that bad. So till Belandur, it's got fully damaged. So because we've seen all these disaster inside the city, and we thought that right now is the time for us to intervene and do something, at least create an awareness about this the lake we have. That's how we started it.
So Raisi, let me ask you, what got you interested, and is this work you're doing also related to the coronavirus crisis?
See, what got me interested is I'm a very too environmental connected person. So when I came to this part of town, whatever was happening in the city, I didn't want this small little beautiful place to experience those. So there are so many things like waste segregation not in place, and all that was the problems of the city which I had faced in my when in my life in the city, which I didn't want this place to experience it. And also this place has got in a radius of about 7 kilometers, there are about 26 lakes. No, in a radius of 7 kilometers, we have 26 lakes, and these lakes are still in its pure form. Like it has not been intervened by a human touch and all. Like there are villagers who are using those for their natural stuff like grazing their cattle and all that. But we don't have any pollutants coming to these lakes yet. But we also saw that the problems of these lakes were they were not getting waters even if it rains very heavily. Because there is something known as canals leading to these lakes. They are called Raj Kalways, and those were getting encroached by builders because it's getting developed in this.
So blocking off the water supply to the lakes. I see.
So basically, the group Voice of Sarjapura, we brought in some like-minded people like us who are interested to work for the environment. Or who can voice out for the environment. So basically, our concerns were green cover and lakes. And whenever, as and when need arises, see, there are certain things like when our movement on road is disrupted because of panels coming up. We don't have proper roads. There is potholes on the roads. We started using this forum to voice out, write letters to all departments.
So let me just ask you guys. So as I hear you, a lot of people have similar concerns about nature being degraded. But many are caught up in their work and many have other preoccupations. What makes you guys so committed? What makes you feel you have to set aside whatever else you're doing What gives you that?
One advantage that we had is we are about 30 kilometers or maximum 20 kilometers away from the city. So even if we had to continue our jobs, it was like taking us 2 to 3 hours on roads. So it was like the family was going for a toll.
I see.
At that time, we didn't have this work from option because there is a lot of internet connection issues and all that. So it's that when we started exploring the place where we live in. That's where we saw the beauty of this place. And we thought, okay, regular job can fetch us money, but this is something beyond that. So that's where we started.
So you moved, so you moved basically to the lakes to live there, Deepanjali? Is that what?
It was not like that. It was basically,
Your audio is not working. You just.
Hello, can you hear us?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is that it was not intentional that we moved. It just organically happened. We could not afford housing in the city, so we moved out. And when we moved out, we realized that living outskirts is much better than living in the city. And then our constant comparison with the city and this area led us to understand there is a lot that can be done by just being here and not doing to and fro to the city.
I see.
So we're making the most out of.
How do you support yourselves? Many people want to do similarly good things, but supporting themselves comes in the way. How do you guys do it?
We started off as a bunch of friends, talking about these things and stuff. But then we realized that me and Racy, like, we were really into it. We were so invested emotionally and, physically. We were ready to venture out, explore by ourselves and stuff. So we took it up very seriously, and we both have the same kind of mindset when it comes to environment. It's like whatever I'm thinking, she also ends up thinking the same thing. So because we have each other's company, and we didn't have such a big pressure from the family also to go and have a job. They let us do what we want to do. And that's how this evolved. We've been kind of active from 2015.
I see. 5 years.
So coming to coronavirus, it's just so happened that on March 21st, it was announced that there'll be a lockdown. First thing, me and her both together thought the same thing, sitting in our own houses. What is going to happen to those folks who earn for daily wages?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Number of people here during our exploration, we have seen the situation, ground reality here. There are a lot of nomads, there are a lot of migrants, there are a lot of daily wage workers. We ourselves have interacted with them. So the first thought when a lockdown happened, it's like, what are they going to do? They are going to not have a job. What are they going to do? And it's like they had a family. We have seen the families with two little boys or two kids. So the first point of thought which came to us is like, what are they going to do? So that's where we thought we'll start using our forum which we have and start getting volunteers. So we announced this in our big main forum, and we picked we asked people who are willing to work on ground to join the working committee of Voice of Sarjapur. We formed a subgroup.
So does the work involve their physical contact? Because that's one of the concerns. How do you how do you help without physical contact?
This whole exercise started 10 days back, and other than meeting Racy, I've not met anybody personally actually.
Really? Okay.
Everything is happening on phone. Everything is happening on WhatsApp.
Maybe the contacts that we have built in is really being of some help for us now.
Give you a background, we already had done a crowdfunding for a tree transplantation activity.
I see.
We had this pool of people who had already donated to us, and they saw our work. Like, we have a Facebook page.
How many people do you have? How many such people do you have?
See, in the main Voice of Sarjapur group, we have 150 folks.
Yeah,
I see.
So we have 1,000 people following us on Facebook.
Okay.
So so what happened is that during that time, whatever contacts we built when we did the tree transplantation, we kept weekly or proper updates we kept giving them whenever we did something. So we built a certain pattern of our own style of working and updating and communicating.
We maintained transparency and we gave all kinds of updates.
Yeah.
So even all the money which we pulled in for this, we put it into an Excel sheet and displayed it on our Facebook page.
I just want to pick up with Raisi. So what is the support you're giving the migrants in Sarjapur? What do you give them as assistance?
In fact, we have certain ground volunteers, like there are certain youth people, as well as we have 2 to 3 people who are in connect with the villages. So they have gone in and seen the situation over there. So there are some people who are nomads or migrants. Their shed is in such pathetic condition that they don't have anything inside their shed right now. They have problems for water, drinking water also. So we try to get in touch with certain panchayats of that area, try to give them tanker water for drinking purposes. We also saw that there was we didn't want a lavish lifestyle for them or whatever, that a bare minimum need for them to, not have hunger. So we started supplying dal, khichdi, which they can make khichdi out of. So there is basic amenities, which the packet costed us 700 rupees, basic essentials, which included cleaning stuff. So they had a bathing soap as well as a washing soap, so that they are maintaining their hygiene. So this is
you basically get shelter and food and essentials provided to them.
Yeah.
And so Deepanjali, what are the biggest challenges you're facing as you try to do this? What makes it very difficult?
What makes us difficult is because physically things are difficult. Going on ground, this is the only project where me and Rishi are not at all on ground.
Yeah.
So we have to totally trust our on-ground volunteers who are doing this for us, and we have to, in a way, risk their safety also, because of the virus going on, and and thankfully we have a very good rapport with the police, the local police guys.
Right,
so,
exactly.
Even if there is something that we are not able to do, there is help coming from somewhere. Somewhere I feel that there's a spiritual element to this entire thing, because it's happening so smoothly. If you ask me one big challenge, the challenge is the fact that we are also disconnected physically. That is the only challenge we have. Otherwise, super response. We just have to call, whether it is the police guys, whether it is somebody local. We just have to give a call. Grocery stores. Yeah, people are just ready to help you out.
And in fact, they give us complimentary stuff in packages also. They are doing their part also. Yeah. That is the kind of response we have got.
Yeah.
So,
and Raisi, what's your sense of how many people are benefiting from all this, from shelter, food, and essentials being provided to them? What are the number of people who are benefiting? Of course, you can't just mention a number.
90 families that we have covered so far. 90 families.
In past 1 week. Just 1 week of work.
Just 1 week, I see. How many do you think are there? How many need help in that area?
There is, 90 families. Each family will have about 4 members each. That is the kind of the group that they are. So they are spread across in different parts of this area. So there are our ground volunteers have gone certain places. They are much interior to the main road. So they maybe the immediate help is given to the people who are on the main roads. So these guys are little interior. See, this is the road which leads to Chikka Tirupati. Then it connects to Hoskote, and also it's all where movement is very less. This is just a sub road.
I see. And Deepanjali, what do you hear back from as your volunteers talk to the migrants? What do they say to them in terms of where are they suffering the most and they're wanting to go back home? Do you hear anything at all?
Actually, they were planning to go back home, but because the situation of transport not being there, they are right now they're like a little bit confused. What is my future kind of they are a bit confused as to what next, because this lockdown period is still, after 21 days, they're still not having a clear picture. So as long as they were getting these groceries and the immediate hunger is sustained, I think they're fine right now. And there are and they're asking, there are a few set of people who were grabbing things for themselves, whereas there are set of people who have shared it with their neighbors. They have found very different kind of experience out of it. And there are a few who have said, right now we don't want for this week.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there are requests of some people coming in for their needs. So it is like, in fact, there are certain people who have said, we don't want right now because maybe we can fix, they are carpenters and painters.
I see. Right.
Then there are a few people who have their self-respect, which is not letting them demand. But we see all that. But we see their house situation, because the volunteers on ground have actually gone and really explored their kitchens.
Okay. Wonderful. So Deepanjali, my question to you, Deepanjali. What have you learned about human nature from this? Through this, what have you learned, Deepanjali?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's very moving that, the poorest of the poor is able to gracefully accept such a critical situation and not go bonkers. It's not how it is always shown on TV or something. Here also we have enough migrant labor, because Bangalore is a very big city. It has a lot of construction activity happening. But what we've seen is there are a bunch of people who want to share it with people. There are a bunch of people who want to actually get out, take that risk of being outdoors and, help people. In the beginning, when we were thinking about all this, I used to constantly get at least 1 or 2 messages, per day, asking, what are we doing? Are you taking up this? Is there anywhere I can donate? I can reach out to these folks. There's a crisis right now. People trying to find out from their end how they can help.
Yes.
So it's absolutely, it's moving across the class, whether it is an elite sitting in a very comfortable house up to a makeshift house guy. Everybody has this grace in them to understand it's a critical thing, time. It's a very unique time. It's not a war kind of a time. It's not a famine kind of a time, but it's a very unusual, situation. And everybody wants to somehow, work towards the common, whether it is taking care of themselves
Very
or
interesting.
others.
Raisi, my question to you is, Raisi, Deepanjali was talking about the spiritual side. And so one of the things I talk about is there's a higher bird in us. There's a lower bird and there's a higher bird in us. The higher bird is, you could say, the spiritual bird, the selfless bird. The lower bird is sort of the selfish bird. What have you seen of human nature when it comes to, what Deepanjali just said, if you do something like this, then some of the barriers get removed from your path. Is that what you're also feeling? Are you feeling that this kind of work, which is about the higher purpose, the higher nature, the higher bird in us, that does it get more easy? Does it get more difficult? How are you finding it?
I think for me, what I wanted to add to this was that nature knows to take care of itself. We humans, whatever we try, it's we who have to learn the lesson from all these experiences. That the nature will take care of itself.
I say, in what way?
We are seeing,
in what way?
It knows to take it back. See, now for the past 21 days, we are having a total standstill on the road. We are breathing much cleaner air. There is no noise pollution, and there is a lot of beautiful things which are coming out on its own. And right now, if it rains, I definitely know the water will reach the lakes. So, in fact, only thing is that we need to learn that we should not exploit nature to such an extent that we should also try to coexist. That we have always forgotten to. Now, I think as the situation has given us a lot of learning that things can work from home also. And rather than, there is like, in fact, before this coronavirus problem, we had a problem of a major 500 to 100 to 500-year-old trees on a roads, they are going to get chopped because of the road extension.
Yes.
This is like, there was no necessity. This development of a city should not, the first thing should not be just road extension. Because we don't, if the road extends, it's not going to solve our problem.
Right.
It is just going to create more problems to it. So just before this coronavirus problem, we were fighting for saving the trees on our roads.
Right,
and
right.
Right now, look at see where it has taken us to. See, 21 days, we have realized that we don't require those roads. We can work from home. The work is getting done. We don't require so many malls. We have learned simpler things in life. We are, which we have actually forgotten to.
Going to back to the fundamentals. So let me ask a question for both of you, starting with Deepanjali. After this crisis is over, hopefully soon, do you think we will learn our lessons? What would it take to learn these lessons? Starting with Deepanjali and then Rajashree.
I think
your microphone is not working.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the attitude is going to change, at least in few of us. Might be the, I don't know how people are working on, within themselves. This is the time where you can sit and reflect and introspect and work on your own self. I don't know how many people are doing it, but there is an effort by a lot of leaders, people telling you to do things that can, take care of you indoors. So there will be an attitudinal change, I feel. People are not going to like to get into a crowded space because of 21, they say 21 days, half a mandala. So it sets a habit. If you want to take up a habit, 21 days may you get that habit. So if you're habituated of staying away from people, you might not want to create a crowd again. So at least that much hope I have.
I understand. Rajashree, how about you?
I would say that, yes, definitely this experience will bring a little bit of change in certain set of people. Then there is a certain set of people who say still, okay, yeah, I'm back to life. So I still feel that same because we have we have seen many experiences where at that point they are like very sensible, but then once life sets back to its normal form, then they lose their senses. But definitely, I know there is a set of people who's going to really change out of this experience. I'm hoping for that lot.
If I can ask you, sort of one sentence description of what this change should be. Deepanjali, what do you think? What's your, one sentence description of what this change ought to be? Similar to Rajashree. What would you say? From what to what? What do you think this change ought to be?
At least from chaos to learning. It should be from chaos to learning, I feel. At least a lesson should be learned out of this.
I see. And what should that lesson be, you think?
A lesson of not being so fast with everything, We don't have to rush to things. We don't have to speed. We don't have to be on the roads to, get our stuff done. We can do it. There's an extremely, evolved technology we have. The fact that you're able to see my face sitting in Hyderabad all the way we are in Bangalore. So there is an evolved technology. We hope it slows us down, I feel.
Right. Okay. And Rajashree, what do you feel that key lesson should be?
We should always, this thing should make us learn to coexist. The environment is just not for humans. It is for many other things associated with that environment. So we need to know how to give them their share and balance our life. So definitely, I think this should be learned from this experience.
Okay, very interesting. And one more question. What about the lessons in terms of how, the elites and the privileged relate to the underprivileged? Because your work is helping the underprivileged. What do you feel we ought to learn from all this? So that going forward, what should we do? What should our mindset be? How should we be? What do you think, Deepanjali?
If it just generates a bit of compassion and kindness in people's heart, the way it has generated in these few days, that people are searching for avenues where they can donate, where they can reach out, actively. So I feel it's creating that mortality is on our face. Suddenly, like It's killing everybody, and thousands are dying. So, so this is kind of creating this kind of thing that I need to be much more human than anything else at this point in time. A wake-up call. Yeah, because just today I think 630 people are dead in New York in one day. In one day, it is not seeing whether you are elite, whether you are poor, whether you are homeless, whether you live in a 5-star hotel. No, it's not seeing. It's just killing people.
Equal opportunity killing. Yeah. Gracie, how about you? What do you think?
This is the first time we are seeing that the elite are the ones who are the cause of this thing. And the lesser risk people are the ones who are the migrants, because or the labor class, because see, they always had this thing like, always the poorest of the poorer are the ones who are going to be affected by any kind of things.
Right.
This is a lesson for all of us, that it is irrespective of what we are, if we are going to be, if a situation is going to arise, we are going to suffer. So So I think this has brought in a lot of change in everybody. They are, even in our communities out here, there's a lot of concern shown to the security guards who are coming in to work for us. Many people are missing their maids, so they have realized the importance of them. All this while, it was like they thought that money could fetch them, So but right today, they have realized that money can't fetch those kind of, in this situation, money is not the one which is ruling. So compassion has started coming into everybody, and that is the big lesson of this crisis mode.
So what I hear you say is, despite all the challenges, all the problems, there is a positive side to it. That this is a wake-up call to us to become more human, to be more connected to others, to be more connected with nature, to be more respectful.
Respect the nature,
It's not just about doing an activity. In some ways, it's about being who